Welcome to Volatility 411 for Equity Armor Investments. I am Joe Teague coming to you on a maybe a little bit of a rotation day. We have some selling pressure in the NASDAQ and tech, flat in financials and energy and value. So really interesting to see what's going on here. I want to talk a second about the bond market. I know this is a volatility show, but it all makes sense in a second. Now, the bonds historically have been used as an asset class that moves opposite the equity market, and of course it allows advisors and investors some protection to the downside. Now, at 130 on the 10-year, of course, the bonds can keep on going higher and rates could potentially go lower, but we're at a critical spot right now. We're about to pass a massive infrastructure bill, massive stimulus bill, 1.9 trillion. That comes after all the spending we put in place last year. Rates are very low, and we're going to accept inflation. Now, what happens if inflation happens? If the economy gets hot, if the stimulus is there, rates are low and have been super low for a long time. What happens if the economy gets too hot? Well, rates are going to rise. So what happens to those bond positions? Those don't do very well. Now, the equity market could still go higher too with rates rising, but it also could go lower, and it could be a lose-lose for those holding bonds against equities. So that is a certain risk out there. Now, however, there's another option. The choice that I use volatility as a hedge against equities. Now, I know there's kind of a floor on the downside for the VIX. The VIX is not going to go to negative. It's not going to go to zero. So there's some significant risk to the downside on those bonds. That's what I look at. Now, back to the volatility. Of course, we're at almost 23 now. That's kind of in the middle of the range. 20 to 25 has been where the VIX has kind of been bouncing around. That's what I've been seeing recently. Still have not broken out below that 20 spot. And of course, we have it a couple blips up higher for active traders to take advantage of. For Equity Armor Investments, I'm Joe Teague.